Hey Team Vibe and happy Friday. It's Friday the 13th. My name is Corey Mayo and Corey had actually asked me to go live in your group and just share a few of my top tips. So I will get to that in just a minute, but many of you probably don't know who I am and I'm on just a couple minutes early. So I'll give a little bit of time for people to jump on here and just kind of let you know who I am. So I started my Beachbody journey it'll be 6 years on January 1st. I'm actually a New Year's resolution customer, and my husband and I only had one son at the time when we started our journey, and we just were sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know, that just feeling sorry for ourselves, being in a really bad place. Our marriage was good. We were happy, but we weren't happy with ourselves. I was really struggling with finding the balance of being a mom and a wife. And even though our son was a little over a year old at the time, I just really was very conscious of what we were feeding him and doing research to feed him all the right foods. But for myself, it was just kind of whatever was convenient or fast or what sounded good and different things like that. And we just did not have a good routine. And so I found myself at my heaviest other than when I was pregnant. I was 205 pounds. I didn't feel comfortable in anything that I put on. And my husband played hockey with Kevin Weber, who used to date Kelly Hanner, who is my upline. And Kelly would talk to me at hockey games and say, hey, we can get you started. I would be more than happy to help you. And I always kind of blew her off. Like, yeah, I know, I know what to do, that sort of thing. And thankfully enough, I listened to her and eventually did join a challenge group with her with P90X and started my journey there. And my husband and I both lost a good amount of weight with our first round of P90X. Hey girl, how are you? We both did really good. We actually, to be perfectly honest with you, we started in the fall of 2011 and we actually tried 3 times before we stuck with it because P90X is hard, you guys. It's long. We were tired, we were sore, we were trying to find the balance in life, and so we would give up, right? Like we would start and we would last a week and we'd give up, we'd start a couple days and give up. Like how many of you have been there before? It's a part of the process. But we didn't give up completely because we kept showing up and trying, and it stuck with us in January of 2012. It is, like I said, we will be celebrating our 6 years in January of 18, so I'm super excited for that. I have lost over 60 pounds. I'm in better shape than as a mommy of 2 little boys, as a wife, and at 33, I'm in better shape, more confident and healthier than I was in high school at 16. So I just really believe in the products and the community that we offer. And so that's why I became a coach. I was feeling so good myself that I wanted to share that with people, right? Like that's what we do as coaches, is inspire people and share our journey and let them know that you can do it too. You might fall off the wagon and you might struggle at times and you might have a hard time, but you can't give up on yourself. And when you feel like giving up on yourself, that's what our community is for, right? Is to surround you and love you and uplift you. And I just really love that about coaching. And I know that as a coach, it can be challenging at times. I know that the business can be challenging at times. I know that showing up and being consistent, and we kind of put ourselves on this pedestal and think that we have to be perfect all the time, but you don't have to be perfect, you guys. You just have to be real. And Corey is so good at that. You have to be real because nobody wants to be perfect. Nobody relates to the person who never struggles with nutrition, who never struggles with getting out of bed early. Like that's just not realistic. So if you find yourself struggling, know that you're not alone and know that each day you take a step forward is a day that you're moving in the right direction. Before I get into my tips, something that I've really been focusing on lately and listening to is every single thing in our life, everything that happens throughout every single day is a decision. Okay, if we just focus on making the decision to move ourselves forward with each thing that we do throughout the day, we will slowly get there. Those small steps will compound, right? It's not about taking huge leaps. So that kind of leads me into my 3 tips. They're nothing crazy. It's not earth-shattering, you guys. And they're probably things that you have heard a million times. But hopefully hearing it from me, or maybe in a different perspective, or maybe you're in a different mindset right now, it will connect with you and you will be able to relate to it, and it will help you to move forward in your business, in your fitness journey, or wherever you're at, and help you to move forward, okay? So I have 3 tips, and then I'm going to share with you some of my personal PD at the end, because I always like to know what successful coaches or coaches who are moving forward, what their PD is and what they're diving into. So I want to share with you a couple of my favorites, okay? So my 3 tips are, I'm just going to say them and then I'll go through them. Tip number 1 is to build a strong why. Okay, building that strong why. You've probably heard that 10,000 times, but we're going to talk about that a little bit. Number 2 is overcoming objections. Okay, I know that that's something that we all struggle with, and then we kind of feel defeated when we struggle with objections. So we're going to talk about that too. And then tip number 3 is being consistent. Okay, showing up for yourself and showing up for your business. So number 1 is building your why. So we talk about this all the time, right? Like, what is my why? Well, I want to lose weight, and I would like to be able to make a little bit more money, or maybe I want to, be able to go part-time in my job. Okay, those are all great things, but why? Why do you want those things? Why? What would that mean for you if you accomplish those things? So many times we make this surface level why. Well, I want to do X, Y, and Z. But why? You almost have to turn yourself into a 2-year-old that makes you crazy and say, why? Why do I want that? Why do I want that? Why do I want that? And we have to peel back the layers of the onion, okay? Because the surface level why is not going to keep you showing up when life throws you a curveball. Because newsflash, you guys, life is always happening, okay? Life is always going to be happening. There's going to be times that you don't feel like showing up. There's going to be times that life is really busy, especially if you have kids. Like, we're crazy 5 nights a week, but I make it a priority because I have a strong why, okay? I peel back those layers. Why do I want this? What does that look like for my family? What will my family be able to benefit from, okay? So I have some questions, and Corey, I will type them out in the comments below, but I'm just going to read them. And I went over this with my team, and we actually did a team call on it, and really to identify what our why is. These 4 questions will help you, and I encourage you to do this when you have some quiet time. Be focused and be able to be honest with yourself and answer these questions, because this is a driving force to help you reach your dream life, you guys. This isn't just, going to the grocery store and making your list. This is your life. This is what you want out of life. These are your dreams. So take the time to sit down in a quiet room and answer these questions and be honest with yourself, okay? So question number 1 is, what is your why? Remember to peel back the layers of the onion to get to your real why. Now, just a little suggestion, I made a list. I didn't try and write it out in story form, because whenever I try and do that, I get discouraged and I just don't get to the core of my reasons, okay? I just start listing things as they come to me, and then I really pinpoint the ones that mean a lot to my heart, okay? So what is your why? And remember to peel back the layers of the onion. Number 2 is, why is this important to you? Get really specific here. How do you see this changing your life, affecting your family, helping you get where you want to be long term? Number 3 is, if you don't achieve your why, what pain will you experience? So sometimes having just pushing for a big goal, yeah, it'd be really great if we reach that. It's not motivating enough, right? It's not enough for us to really dig deep and push forward. So sometimes identifying what that pain point would be, like, what would we experience if we don't reach our goals? If we don't reach the dreams that we have? If we don't accomplish X, Y, and Z? Okay? So what would that look like? What would that pain point be for you? And then number 4 is, look ahead 5 years into the future. If you don't achieve your why, where will you be, and what will you have given up? All because you didn't follow through and take action on what is important to you. So those are the 4 questions. And like I said, I will put those in the comments below so that you guys can work on that, because that has not only helped myself, but significantly helped my team as well, to really not just to move past the surface, right? To get emotional about it. It's okay to get emotional about it, you guys. You should be emotional about your why. Okay? That's your life. It's not just you're wanting to lose weight. It's why do you want to lose weight? Do you want to feel confident when you walk in the room? Do you want to be able to go shopping and feel good when you go shopping? It's all of those things that create who you are as a person. And then once you're emotionally connected and you've created that why, start reading it every single day. You guys, even if you're telling yourself that you can do this and you've got this, our subconscious is in control of the majority of our actions and the actions that we don't take. Okay, it's usually our hurdle and what holds us back and the limiting beliefs that we really don't even realize that we have. So reading that and reprogramming our mind to believe that is obtainable, that we can achieve that we are working towards that we are worth working towards that. Reading it every single day. I encourage you to read it in the morning as soon as you wake up, and to read it at night before you go to bed, so that you set your intentions for the day and you get excited about waking up the next day to set your intentions and move forward with your life. Okay? So that's number 1, building your why. Number 2 is overcoming objections. So I know that objections, when I first started as a coach, it was money, because that was my objection, right? It was, I don't have the money to do that. I can't afford that. That just is so expensive. So how many of you find that when you have an objection, it's typically the objection that you had, right? It's typically what you thought in your mind. It's a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. It's too expensive. Oh, I'll never stick to that. I don't like shakes. Whatever that objection is, whatever you think in your mind is what you're putting out there. Okay? So what you thought in the beginning, or if you are maybe struggling financially, and when you're inviting people or you're sharing about things and you put out there, oh, well, I really can't afford this, or this is really expensive, they're going to think it's expensive. Guess what they're going to think? They're going to think it's expensive because you don't see the value in it, and you're putting that out there even without saying it. We're putting out into the universe, and our intentions or our thoughts are that it's expensive. And so that's what's going to come back to us, okay? So setting your intentions before you sit down, take 1 minute before you send an invite and just say, I am attracting those who are ready and willing to work with me, who are excited to make changes in their life, and I am going to provide value for them, and I am going to be able to help them, okay? So set your intentions. Another thing is ask questions. Ask questions and ask questions and ask more questions, because as you ask questions, you find out the core of their struggles. You find out their real why. Remember, we were just talking about why. Why do you want that? Why do you want to feel that way? What will life look like? Okay, so just to give you an example, some questions that I ask are when they say, yes, I would like to be a part of your group. Okay, awesome. We would love to have you. Would you mind sharing with me a little bit about what your health and fitness goals are? And then once they share their goals, they say, that's awesome. I have no doubt that together we can work towards that so-and-so. Would you mind telling me what you tend to struggle with when working towards those goals? Is it your nutrition? Is it making time to work out? Is it a little bit of both? You start diving into what their struggles are, because then you know what? 1, you're being genuine and you're not just making a sale, but 2, you're finding the core of what they want and what they struggle with, so that you can connect the value of what we're providing in the challenge pack or in the Shakeology or in the performance line or whatever the product is. You can connect them, and they see the value in that because you took the time to ask questions. So when somebody says, yes, I'm interested, take a deep breath and ask questions, okay? Find out what their struggles are. Find out what they want to work towards. And then when you share with them what your recommendation is, they're going to see the value in that. And honestly, I really don't get objections anymore, because I ask a lot of questions. I keep digging deeper. I peel back the layers of the onion to find out what they need. I spend an extra 2 or 3 conversations of back and forth to really get to the core of their why and to the core of their struggles, so that I, as a coach, can connect them with the right program, and I, as a coach, can help them move forward. Okay, I can actually help them get results so that they are excited about getting their results. Okay, and then using feel, felt, found. So if somebody gives you an objection and it's something that you have experienced yourself, I'm sure Corey has talked about this, or you've probably heard this a million times. You know, Carolyn, I can understand that you feel that way. I felt that way too when I first started. But what I have found, and then you insert your story, your journey, or if it's not something that you personally have struggled with, but you know that somebody on your team has, use that to connect them with, okay, yes, I understand that you feel that way. Validate how they feel, and then move forward and say, but this is how we can work through that. I've seen somebody work through that because of this. Okay? So that's overcoming objections. And then the last one is being consistent. You guys, there's nothing worse than you find your favorite store. I'm not a Starbucks girl, but let's say you love Starbucks and you love going to get your whatever drink every single morning, and you go every morning, and for a week they're there. And then all of a sudden you go to get your drink and they're not there. You're like, what the heck? Like, why are they not open? Okay, well, you go somewhere else and get a drink. And then you try and go back again and they're there. So you get your favorite drink. And then you know, the next day you show up and they're not there again. What the heck? Why aren't they open again? And if they aren't there, if they aren't showing up, what are you going to do? You're going to find somewhere else to get your drink that you know they're going to be open and they are going to be there for you every time you want your drink. It's the same thing as being a coach. You can't show up on social media and invite people for a week, and when people don't respond right away, just go MIA and then expect to show up in 2 weeks and expect, boom, that people are going to be knocking at your door. That doesn't happen, you guys. You have to keep showing up. Your social media is your storefront. That is your Starbucks. So on the days that you don't feel like showing up, the people who are watching you, and I guarantee you have a lot of people watching you and following what you're sharing, but they're too afraid yet to like or comment. I promise you that's happening. They're going to go, well, where'd she go? And just when they're ready to work with you, or to finally get the courage to ask you for help or to comment on something, you don't show up and they lose their trust. Okay? So it takes so much more time to build that trust back up once it's broken. It's no different than your nutrition and fitness journey. You can't expect to lose weight or be healthy and feel healthy and confident when you're eating pizza every other day of the week. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I had pizza for dinner last night. It was cold and rainy, and we snuggled up and had pizza with our boys and watched a movie. We're human, okay? I'm not saying you have to be perfect. But what I am saying is we need to be on most of the time to get results in our nutrition and fitness. It's the same with your social media and with your business. You have to show up more times than not, so that you build that consistency and you build that credibility and you build that following and people connecting with you. Okay? Making non-negotiable business hours. There has to be, even if it's a power hour, you guys, like there has to be non-negotiable time. Okay? There has to be that time that you sit down and you focus and there's no distractions. The laundry can wait. The dishes in the sink can wait. The kids know that you're working, or you talk with your spouse and you say, look, these are my dedicated business hours. I just need an hour by myself. You put the earbuds in and you go to work. Okay? There has to be non-negotiable time. If you want this to be a business, it has to be treated like a business. We don't go to work and expect to just kind of flail about our day and still get a paycheck, right? If we just flailed about our day the way some of us treat our Beachbody business at our real job, our bosses would probably fire us, right? And say, nope, you're not cutting it because you're not showing up consistently or you're not staying focused. So making sure that you have that non-negotiable time. And honestly, once you make that non-negotiable time and you have that focused time, you'll find that you can unplug yourself more often. Instead of trying to like work in pockets of time of like 5 minutes throughout the day here and there, doesn't that make you feel scattered and like it's hard to accomplish one thing and you constantly feel like you're attached to your phone? You guys, we have to unplug too. Like, you have to have your family time, and you have to have your alone time, and you have to have your whatever. Like, you can't be attached to your phone all the time. That's not what this business is about. This business is about helping you to get more freedom. So make those hours and set them and be non-negotiable. And it might be different on different days of the week. That's okay, but just make your schedule out. And then I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I didn't miss anything. Keep it simple. The last thing for being consistent is keep it simple. Don't get distracted by what so-and-so is doing, or there's like 5 groups that you can get in or whatever. If you get distracted by being in all these different groups, then don't join a bunch of groups. Do one and focus on one thing at a time, okay? Make sure you're showing up for your 4 vital behaviors. Those are first and foremost, right? Your workout, your Shakeology, your personal development, and inviting. Your connecting and reaching out and inviting people. Those are the first and foremost. Then you have time to do the cutesy graphics for things, or spend a bunch of time on a picture or whatever. But you have to get those vitals done, because those are what are moving your business forward. Those are giving you the results right now, not the fluff and all the little stuff around your business. Okay? It's easy to get caught up in that stuff. So I hope that those 3 tips help. I'm going to go over my favorite PD really quick, because I think I talked a little bit. Oh, I guess I'm not too bad, about 20 minutes. So some of my favorites for PD, and I'll say this really quick. Make your personal development intentional. Well, a couple years ago, it took me a long time to dive into personal development at all, you guys. Like, I would say, oh yeah, I did it, and I would just like listen to some random YouTube or something, and maybe once a week. I didn't really dive into personal development. And then I started to, and I would just listen to whatever, I didn't really have intentions behind it. I was just trying to like fuel my mind, probably because at that time I wasn't at a place with being honest with myself from doing personal development, that I didn't really know what I needed, if that makes sense. So make your personal development intentional. If you're struggling with belief in yourself, then you need to listen to PD that's building belief within yourself. If you're struggling with being a leader, then we need to listen to PD that's about being a stronger leader and how to develop those principles, those core principles to be a leader. If you're struggling with nutrition, you need to make your PD about nutrition and why we eat the way that we do, like with Darren O'Lean's book. I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can be struggling with, but I feel like making it intentional and not just a thoughtless thing is going to help you so much more than if you just throw something in, okay? So some of my favorites is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. I'm actually listening to that for the second time right now. I love that book. Get Over Your Damn Self by Rami. I don't know how to say her last name, but this one right here. That's where the 4 questions came from, by the way. Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. That's one that you don't hear about very much. And I'll be honest, I listened to the audio because the audio is easier for me. That one's a little hard to get into for the first couple chapters, but once you're in it, it is incredible. And it is so about how our business does this, and how you have those emotional highs and those really low emotional lows when things kind of you're struggling, whether it's limiting beliefs or you're struggling with moving yourself forward. So that is a really good book, you guys. And then Go for No by Richard Fenton. Okay. That's one that you probably have heard of before, but I listen to that. It's like an hour and 15 minutes or something. I listen to that one pretty frequently because it gets me out of that. It's that just get up and do it. Quit procrastinating, quit thinking about it, just do it. You know what you have to do, okay? And then podcasts for sure is Melanie Mitchell, Women Inspiring Women. If you're not already listening to her podcast, you guys, she's a top coach for a reason. She's amazing, and she speaks to my heart in every single podcast. So I really, really enjoy her. And my last one is the Gary Vee audio experience. So Gary Vee's podcast is really good too. So I hope that helps. I will drop those. I'll take a picture of those questions to help you create your strong why. You guys, believe in yourself. Believe in this business. We are paired with an amazing company who is really doing their part to shed more light in the world. And maybe you don't look at it that way, but that's That's one of the reasons I became a coach. We need so much more love and inspiration and light in the world. And I just really, really love our mission and what we are all about and what Carl stands for, and really helping people to move forward and to value their life, to be happy. Like, you can go out and sell anything in the world. We sell things every day. We sell when we have a good experience at a restaurant, and we sell a clothing line when we wear it on our, like I'm wearing Puma. I'm selling for them, right? Like, you're selling every single day without even knowing it. But what we are doing is the opportunity to save someone's life. Not just health, but mentally too, you guys. Think about how many people you know that struggle with body image or depression or anxiety. Like, we have a gift. So don't ever think that you're a bother. Go out there and share that gift with people. Know that you are a blessing and you have something of value to give people. Okay? So I love you all. Go out there and do your part. Inspire the world. Be the light and share love with people, because that is what we are here for. Okay? I love you all. Happy Friday. It is Friday the 13th, so stay safe if you're superstitious. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll talk with you soon.